Are you renting and wanting to make your home feel a little bit more like yours? Well, here are 6 ways to add your own personal touch to your rental home. So number 1 is soft furnishings. Now, often with rental properties, you do inherit some furniture with the property. Some come with, some come without. Now, the sofas are normally quite good condition because they have to be sort of regulations, but they're sometimes a bit tired looking or a bit stained. And the best way to uplift them, but also make them feel a bit more like yours, is adding soft furnishings such as cushions and throws. And this is a really nice thing to do, not only to add your personality so you can have lovely patterns and textures and colors, but also something you can alternate throughout the seasons so that you feel like the house or the flat is constantly evolving with you throughout the year. And these things are so easy and inexpensive to find from supermarkets and on the high street. And so in the winter you could have really lovely velvet cushions with a nice textured wool throw or furry rug, and then in the summer have soft linen cushions with soft linen throws and a nice gentle summery palette or fun bright colours. And likewise you can do the same with the bed. Another tip for the bed is always flip the mattress over. Always recommend doing that. But is adding a bed canopy. Now, I've done this in pretty much all my rental properties, whether they've got a bed header or not, and I've inherited a divan bed. Just adding a canopy looks really lovely. It immediately adds a bit more personality to a bedroom. They're not expensive. You can get them at Amazon, and a lot of high street brands do them as well. And often they come with a little base that sticks on the ceiling, which the canopy then has a little hook attached to it. And these can normally be done with a sticker, so you don't have to bang any nails on the ceiling. And then you can hang it either behind the bed head, or you can just, if you've got no bed head, it kind of creates a sort of bed head just over the divan and have 2 nice really big cushions at the back. And that immediately uplifts the bedroom, makes it feel a bit more personable, a bit more like yours. And again, you can alternate them. You can have net ones, like nice mosquito net ones, or you can have colourful ones to bring a bit of colour to the room. And likewise with curtains. If they've got a curtain pole, you can often change what curtains they may have there. There are so many curtains that you can get from places like Dunelm and the supermarkets. And again, that can add colour and texture and warmth. And you can change these throughout the seasons as well. But soft furnishings can make such a difference and immediately add personality to a rental property. Number 2 is adding your own furniture. Now, like I said, some properties come with furniture and some come completely unfurnished and some come part furnished. And in my experience, sometimes when they're unfurnished, you may have to invest in a bit of furniture. But what I suggest you do, especially as you're renting, so you don't necessarily think you're going to be there for a very long time, or you might have to move to another rental property, is if you're going to have to invest in a sofa, say, then invest in a modular sofa. Now, there's some fantastic modular sofas out there, and this is a great way of sort of making your mark. So even though you may not be owning the property, you're investing in something that you can take with you from property to property. Because I have lived in flats where you can't get a normal sofa up a stairs. In fact, one property I lived in when my first son was born, you couldn't get any sofas up there. And so what we did was we bought a day bed from IKEA, which was flat pack, and that actually made a really nice sofa, but it meant the whole thing could be broken down when we moved and on to the next property. Likewise, if you're investing in a bed, best to buy a bed that can break down so that the slats can come off, the bed end or the bed head can be detached, and the mattress can be detached. The problem with some of the big divan beds is they're very clunky, and if you're planning on moving over a period of years, those beds can sometimes be really difficult to get into properties. What I did with the first flat, where we had to get the day bed for a sofa, I bought a futon, and these can be fantastic as well because they can double up as sofas as well as beds and open out. So even if you then later invest in a bigger bed, if you have a futon, you can then have an extra little chair or spare bed if someone comes to stay. Number 3 is pictures, mirrors and plants. Now, these are obviously ways of expressing yourself and adding your own stamp into your property. And these are things you will collect over. If you've been traveling, you get to bring a poster back. If you go to a concert and you buy the poster, there's such good ways of adding your personality and color and interest and feature to a room. And the really lovely thing about posters and prints is that you can buy very inexpensively from places like Dunelm and the supermarkets, Habitat, Sainsbury's, Tesco's, everywhere everywhere. They have these very cheap, inexpensive frames. And these frames often can be hung in either way, so it can easily be adapted. And they're sort of £2 or £3 starting with small ones, and then go up to probably about £10, £12. And they can have white frames, black frames. And again, these are things you can take from property to property really easily. Now, sometimes landlords don't let you hang pictures on the walls because they don't want marks in the walls. I've had some landlords who didn't mind as long as I filled them in when I left. You can now get stickers that hold pictures to the walls, and indeed Velcro tape. So that is a great invention. Obviously with mirrors, you have to be a bit careful, but tall, big mirrors look really nice, just leaning on the floor against the wall. And I always say about mirrors, they're a great way of making a small space seem bigger, especially if you place them reflecting the light from the windows. It suddenly makes a room so much brighter. So it doesn't matter if they're slightly on an angle. Always make sure there's something to kind of hold it in place so it doesn't slip. But mirrors and pictures add a lot of personality and a lot of colour, as do plants. You can have real plants, or indeed you can have faux plants. And these are brilliant because they suddenly just bring a room together. Sometimes rental properties can feel a little bit soulless, and having sort of the outdoors come in is a way of really making a room or a place feel more atmospheric. And you can get tiny little ones, you can get big tree ones, you can get small plot pots like that, and also can be seasonal. So obviously at Christmas time you can have a few more sort of Christmassy style plants, and then in the summer you can have lovely plants like this fern here, which is completely artificial, and then add your own fresh flowers. But fresh flowers tend to be quite expensive and obviously die quite quickly. So I always say it's really good to invest in some artificial plants and flowers, and they automatically make somewhere feel like a home. Number 4 is lighting. Now, most rental properties, whether they come with furniture or without furniture, tend not to come with any lighting other than what's overhead. Now, one trick I always do is change the lampshades. Lampshades are pretty inexpensive. You can get them from lovely high street shops and the supermarkets, or you can invest in some nice antique ones, whatever you fancy doing. But they are a really nice way of just suddenly adding feature to a room. I remember I used to get those paper dome ones, which were really lovely, but they had them in lots of different colors. They were totally inexpensive, but immediately you've gone from having a bare bulb to having this lovely burst of color, or in this case of the white one, just looking like a nice, simple, chic sort of sculpture hanging from the ceiling. So they're really good. You can also get lovely at the moment rattan lampshades, which again can just fit over the bulb, and it's a quick and easy way of making a room suddenly look more finished. Lamps also, side lamps, things that you can take from property to property are very good. And if you have, let's say you've got a couple of bedside tables or boxes, another trick, get a cardboard box, drape a cloth over it, you've got a bedside table. Done that many times. Little lamp on it looks lovely. Low lighting always makes a room feel warmer and more atmospheric, and is something that you can take with you. And you can update the shades, so maybe go for simple bases and then you can change the shades, because they do tend to get a bit banged about when moving. But also they're just a nice way of changing the color or the texture depending on the season and the mood. And now with the invention of battery operated lamps, you can have them anywhere around the room without having to have plug sockets. Often with rental properties, I always think that there's a shortage of plug sockets. So with battery operated lamps, these are a brilliant way of adding some feature, some personality, some style, but also not having to worry about where you plug them in. Number 5 is handles. Now, when I say handles, I mean changing cupboard handles or door handles. You know I love a door handle, but there's such easy things to change, and such an easy and quick way to uplift a kitchen cupboard or a bathroom cupboard, or if you've got fitted cupboards in the bedroom or something. All you have to do is unscrew them, sometimes with a screwdriver, sometimes not. They're quite easy, most of them. And likewise, you could possibly do it on the doors as well. And it's just a nice way. So let's say you've got a lovely kitchen, but you just don't really like the handles, or they're a bit dated, or you just want to add your own personality, or you want to put a pop of color. You can get beautiful ceramic colorful ones. You can get lovely antique brass ones if you want a more luxe feel. And there's just really lovely ways of doing it. Sometimes also if you inherit a chest of drawers with the rental property, you can just change the handles on that as well, and immediately it brings in a bit of feature to bring some colors into the room and pull things together. But what's great about them is it's easily done. It has a big impact, be it in the bathroom or the kitchen or on a piece of furniture or on fitted cupboards. But then when you leave, you just put the old ones back and you take them with you and you can do it all over again somewhere else. And finally, number 6 is self-adhesive tile stickers. Now these are absolutely brilliant, and I wish I'd had them when I first started renting properties when I was younger, because I had some pretty dodgy tiles in some of the properties I rented. And what these are is basically, they're like stickers. You peel back, they're self-adhesive and they stick onto tiles. They can stick onto floor tiles, so you've got big panels of them where they look like sort of new floor tiles that you've relaid but you haven't, it's just stickers. You can have wall tiles for kitchens and bathrooms, and they are a brilliant way of updating a property. And what's really nice about them is they're pretty easy to apply. So if you feel like doing some DIY and putting your own stamp on the property and making it feel like yours, they're the perfect thing to do. But when you leave, it's very easy. You peel it off and it goes back to how the property was originally. But in the meantime, you've uplifted the style, you've added some colour or some feature, and you've made it feel like yours. So I hope you've enjoyed my 6 ways to make your rental property feel more like yours. And if you'd like some more interior design tips, then don't forget to subscribe. Here, here, or here.